Hey there, if you're thinking of living in Connecticut or moving to Connecticut for 2026, you definitely clicked the right video. Today, we are going to go over the top reasons why people love Connecticut. And I guarantee you, at least one of these you probably assumed was on the list of why people avoided Connecticut. I've spent my entire life here, so this is coming from real experience, not from someone who visited once, ate a lobster roll, took a selfie in Mystic, had some of the pizza, and suddenly declared themselves a Connecticut expert. Connecticut is one of those places that gets seriously misunderstood. People hear high taxes, cold winters, and picture some gloomy, expensive little corner of New England where everybody wears navy blue and complains about the Yankees, complains about the Mets, or complains about the Red Sox. Then they actually get out here and realize it's a whole lot more interesting, more beautiful, more comfortable, and way more than they expected. Plus, we actually like the Yankees or the Red Sox or sometimes the Mets. It depends on what part of the state you're in, where you grew up, and that is all part of the fun. So let's jump in now. Item number one, Connecticut is friendly and welcoming. Community is the first thing people love about Connecticut. It's friendly, it's welcoming. This is a state made up of 169 towns. It's not giant, it's not anonymous cities. You're not just another face in the crowd. Even in the more populated areas, you still get small town feel. Neighbors talk to neighbors. People hold doors open. Total strangers apologize in the grocery store parking lot for absolutely no reason. Connecticut has about 3.6 million residents currently, spread across those 169 towns. Each town has its own personality, its own traditions, its own loyal locals who will fight you, politely, of course, over whose pizza place is actually the best. They might get intense about it, but they're still nice while arguing. For home buyers coming from out of state, the sense of community is huge. You're not just buying a house, you're buying a neighborhood where people actually care if you exist. Block parties, farmers markets, little league games, charity 5Ks where half the people walk and half the people run and everybody gets a medal anyways. It all adds up to feeling like you belong pretty quickly. And here's something most relocation videos won't tell you. Connecticut has one of the highest rates of civic participation in the whole country. We're talking library board meetings, historic societies, volunteer fire departments. Thank you, Prospect Fire Department. This isn't a state where people just show up, live their lives, and then leave. People here get involved. That means when you move here, you're not walking into a ghost town. In these towns, people actually know each other. You're walking into a place that already has structure, it has community events, and people will welcome you, assuming you bring good coffee to the first meeting. Item number two is the weather and the climate. The second thing residents appreciate is our weather and our climate. Right here's where I need to let you in on something important. Connecticut truly gives you all four seasons, whether you asked for them or not. Summers are warm, but rarely unbearable, not like Florida, with average temperatures in the low to mid 80s. You get a few gross humid weeks in July and August, but nothing like they deal with down south. Fall is basically a postcard that lasts about 3 months. Everywhere you look, it's pumpkins, it's apple cider. The trees look like something out of a magazine. The best way to describe it is it looks like they are on fire with all the vibrant colors. Next up, we have winter, which is cold, snowy, and perfect for people who secretly enjoy wearing sweaters, coats, vests, and complaining about shoveling. And spring? Spring in Connecticut is gorgeous. Everything turns green again. People remember why they love the state. There's hope in the air. Flowers are starting to pop, and it reminds you of why you live here. Now, here's something that most people won't expect. Connecticut has a lot of microclimates. If you are down by the shore, the temperature could be 10 degrees warmer. I noticed this yesterday. I was showing properties down in Milford. They had about half as much snow on the ground as we do here in Prospect. Coastal towns like Milford and Madison are moderated by Long Island Sound and get much milder winters. You will also have a cooler summer, though, because of the breeze off the ocean. You might get 3 inches of snow down there, head up to the hills, and you can get heavier snowfall, crisper air, but the views will make you forget about everything else. It's honestly wild how different it can be from one part of the state to the next. Another unexpected insight: Connecticut is ridiculously prepared for weather. We have excellent infrastructure for storms, snow removal, seasonal transitions. Town budgets revolve around keeping the roads safe, the power on, and having everybody up and running the day after a storm. People here know how to live with the climate instead of being shocked by it. I know I have friends in the Carolinas, they get a storm, it shuts down the state with 3 inches of snow. Here, Connecticut, we laugh at 3 inches of snow. When there's a snowstorm, plows are out instantly. When there's a hurricane, people already have their flashlights and batteries ready. We don't mess around. And that's what matters if you're relocating. You have to know these things. Knowing which town fits your personal tolerance for heat, cold, or snowfall is just one of those nuanced local knowledge things. Buyers often assume New England weather is identical everywhere, and Connecticut is absolutely not like that. Choosing the right areas so you're comfortable year round, it's not just surviving, but actually enjoying where you live. It's part of making a smart move, and that is the kind of insight and little detail that can save you from ending up in a place you hate living in. Little things like that are the value that my team bring to people every single day. We help folks understand the stuff that doesn't show up on Zillow. Item number 3, that's the local culture and events. Connecticut packs a ridiculous amount into a small space. We have historic downtown festivals, holiday parades, summer concerts on town greens that have been happening since before most of our bridges were built, art shows, community fairs that feel like they've existed longer than some countries. Here's an insight most buyers would never expect. Connecticut has one of the highest number of nonprofits per capita in the entire country. There are roughly 20,000 registered nonprofits in our little state. That means almost every weekend there's a fundraiser, a community cause, or an event focused on giving back. The social life here isn't just about entertainment for the sake of entertainment. It's deeply tied into the community. It's rooted in involvement. People care about their towns and they show up, they volunteer, they donate. It's a big part of the culture. Another cultural hidden gem: the incredible rivalry between towns, not just on the football field, but each town has its own annual traditions and people take them seriously. The Cheshire Fall Festival, the Prospect Pumpkin Fest, the Southington Apple Harvest, the Durham Fair, the Yale Harvard game in New Haven, where people wear scarves that cost more than your car payment. You get to experience big time energy in bite sized settings. It's like living in a place where something fun is always happening, but you can still be home and in your pajamas by 9 o'clock if that's your vibe. From a real estate perspective, these events create stable, desirable towns that hold their value because people stay once they get there. When a town has strong traditions and active community involvement, it doesn't just make a nice place to visit, it is a smart place to invest. Item 4 is the outdoor activities in nature. Connecticut may be small in size, it's the third smallest state by area, but it is absolutely loaded with beautiful landscapes. We have coastlines, lakes, Forests, rivers, hiking trails everywhere. You're never far from fresh air. Connecticut has 250,000 acres of state parks and forests. You can kayak the Farmington River, hike Sleeping Giant State Park, swim at Hammonasset Beach, spend a lazy day on Banham Lake. When you row by, make sure you say hi. There are trails, fishing spots, rock climbing, hidden waterfalls all over the place. And because the state is so small, you can be at the beach in the morning and biking in the woods by afternoon. Here's an unexpected insight that might blow a lot of people's minds. Connecticut is one of the most tree covered states in the country. Nearly 57% of the whole state is still covered with trees. Most people assume it's wall to wall houses and strip malls. Nope. Connecticut is just basically trees with nice neighborhoods tucked in between. When you're driving through Connecticut, you're not looking at concrete jungles, you're looking at actual jungles. Well, temperate, deciduous forests. But you get the idea. Unexpected insight number two, we have more than 90 named waterfalls in the state. 90. In a state you can drive across in 2 hours, it's not something you hear in most relocation videos, but it makes exploring here pretty amazing. You've got Chapman Falls, Kent Falls, Enders Falls. Some of them are tourist magnets, others are hidden gems that only the locals know about. For families and active buyers, the access to nature is massive with quality of life upgrades. You're not stuck choosing between living in a city with zero green space or moving to the middle of nowhere. Connecticut gives you both. You get charming towns with great schools and hiking trails that are just 10 minutes away. That balance is rare, and it's one of the reasons people fall in love with my state. Item number 5, the food scene. Connecticut takes eating very seriously, especially pizza, like aggressively seriously. If you tell somebody from New Haven that New York has better pizza, they will look at you like you just insulted their grandmother. We have famous New Haven style pizzas, endless Italian restaurants, great seafood spots along the shore, diners that serve breakfast all day, farm to table places popping up everywhere. The food culture here is incredible. But here's a balanced objection buyers often bring up. They assume Connecticut only offers fine dining. That is wrong. The state has a huge range. According to recent restaurant data, there's over 8,000 eating and drinking establishments here in this small state. Everything from high-end steakhouses in Fairfield County, where you need a reservation a month in advance, to tiny hole-in-the-wall taco joints in Waterbury that will change your life for $12. You can eat like royalty or eat on a budget. Both options are delicious and both are available here in Connecticut. Here's another unexpected buyer insight. Connecticut ranks near the top nationally for specialty food producers, small batch bakeries, craft breweries, artisan coffee roasters, award-winning cheese makers like Arethusa, chocolate makers that ship worldwide. The state quietly competes with Vermont and Maine as a food capital powerhouse. Most people never realize that until their jeans mysteriously start fitting tighter after 6 months of living here. Real estate is local, and so is food. Living near great dining operations, great breweries, great coffee shops, awesome farmers markets, these are all part of why people end up picking the town they choose. It's not just about the house, it's about the lifestyle that comes with that house. Item number 6, that is the attractive cost of living here in Connecticut, particularly the home prices. Now, Connecticut is not the cheapest state in the nation. Far from it. I'm not going to lie to you, but it's also far more affordable than most people assume, especially when you compare it to surrounding areas. As of early 2026, the median home price in Connecticut is right around $425,000, depending on which market you're looking in. Compare that to places like New York City or Boston, where the median home price is double or triple that. Suddenly, Connecticut looks like bargain wearing a bow tie and holding a lobster roll. The average rent here statewide is about 2,200 a month, so many people realize pretty quickly that buying is actually a financial decision that makes more sense. One common objection we hear all the time is about property taxes. It's a totally fair concern. Connecticut does have higher taxes than southern states, and this is huge. What most buyers don't expect is how dramatically taxes vary by town. Connecticut is a state where you can choose your tax level by choosing your town. For example, Washington, Connecticut has a mill rate of 10.85. Hartford's mill rate is 68.95. That's not a typo. You can literally cut your tax bill in half just by choosing a different town 30 minutes away or 20 minutes away. Towns like Watertown, Wolcott, New Hartford, Prospect often have taxes way lower than the coastal towns in Fairfield County. Here's another unexpected insight most buyers have no idea about. Connecticut offers a ton of first-time homebuyer assistance programs. They also have energy efficiency incentives. Between CHFA loans, down payment assistance programs, rebates for upgraded insulation or heating systems, buyers are often shocked at how many financial tools exist to make housing affordable here. There are programs specifically designed to help people buy houses in Connecticut that go completely unused because people just did not know they existed. Now, here's the thing, when you're relocating here, there are so many factors to consider: home prices, taxes, proximity to work, school quality, future resale value. And honestly, you can spend weeks researching and still miss critical details. That's where working with a team that knows the market inside and out makes all the difference. We have helped thousands of families move to Connecticut. One of the biggest things we do is match people with towns that fit their budget and their lifestyle. We know which towns are undervalued, what towns have great tax breaks. We know which neighborhoods are about to blow up in value and which ones are overhyped. Whether you're planning to move tomorrow or 5 years from now, having that kind of insight will save you time, save you money, and save you stress. So if this is something you're even remotely considering, reach out to our team. Let's talk about what you're looking for and start building a strategy that actually works. Item number 7 is the Connecticut job market with economic opportunities. We are a powerhouse for such a small state. Seriously, people underestimate this all the time. We have major employers like Yale University, Hartford Healthcare, UConn, Go Huskies, Sikorsky, Pratt& Whitney, Electric Boat, and tons of insurance and technology companies that are in the Hartford corridor. These aren't small operations. We're talking massive institutions that employ tens of thousands of people and anchor an entire region. Unemployment here in Connecticut has been trending right around 4%, which is close to the national average. The average household income is just over $90,000, which is one of the highest in the country. This is not a state struggling economically. People here earn good money. Here's something most buyers would never expect. Connecticut has a huge number of remote work opportunities. Recent studies show that right around 14 to 16% of Connecticut's workforce now works from home, at least part-time. Some towns like Weston and Westport saw their remote numbers double after the pandemic. Nearly 40% of Weston's population works from home now. That is wild. The state has adapted incredibly well with co-working spaces, upgraded internet infrastructure, and towns actively courting professionals who no longer need to commute daily to New York and Boston. Another hidden economic gem, aerospace and defense. Connecticut ranks in the top 5 nationally for defense manufacturing contracts per capita. We build submarines, we build helicopters, we build jet engines. That creates long-term economic stability with excellent pay scales that most people moving here have no clue about. Most relocation videos talk about generic job opportunities. Connecticut quietly builds some of the most advanced military technology in the world. It's a whole different level of cool. Stable jobs help create stable home values. When you buy a house in a town with strong employment, good schools, and economic diversity, you're not just buying a home, you're making a smart investment. Item number 8 are the neighborhoods and the schools. Connecticut is absolutely built for starting your family. We consistently rank among the best educated states in all of America. Over 40% of all adults hold a bachelor degree or higher. That emphasis on education flows straight into our public schools, which are some of the best in the country. Towns like West Hartford, Cheshire, Glastonbury, Ridgefield, Greenwich, they are nationally recognized for their excellent schools, but smaller towns also have strong programs. Safe, walkable communities, involved parents. You don't have to live in the wealthiest zip codes to get a great education here in Connecticut. Common objections that we hear from some buyers are the fear that schools are overcrowded. Many districts in Connecticut have seen declining enrollment over the past decade. This means smaller class sizes, more personalized attention, and that's not what most people assume when they hear about Connecticut schools, but it's true. Here in Connecticut, your kid isn't going to be stuck in a classroom with 45 other students fighting for the teacher's attention. Another unexpected buyer insight: Connecticut has a massive network of magnet schools and technical high schools. Programs like Caner Tech, Platt Tech, they offer agricultural science. They have specialized STEM academies and offer options beyond traditional public education. Parents moving here often discover they have more choices, not fewer. You can send your kid to a regular public school, a magnet school focused on science and technology, or even a technical school. These technical schools, they will actually graduate with a trade certificate. The options are incredible. Good schools equal strong resale value. It's as simple as that. When you buy in a town that has a solid school system and good taxes, your home will hold its value, even when the market shifts. Item number 9, and that is the convenient location and accessibility. Connecticut sits right between New York and Boston. We have major highways like I-84, I-91, I-95, the Merritt Parkway. Bradley International Airport and Windsor Locks get you almost anywhere in the world. Metro North trains run straight into Grand Central Station. You can be in New York City in under 2 hours. Boston is the same. Whether you want to go catch a Red Sox game or a Patriots game, you are close. It's the perfect location if you want access to major cities without actually living or paying for a major city. Here's a balanced objection: traffic. Yes, some highways get busy, especially 95 during the rush hour or the Merritt. It's only 2 lanes after all. But here's another unexpected insight: Connecticut has more back roads and alternate routes than GPSs can keep up with. The state was designed back in the 1700s, long before anybody planned for highways. So there are countless little connectors in every town. There's scenic routes, shortcuts that only the locals know about. You'll pick up on some as you're touring houses and following us from place to place. When buyers relocate, they often worry. A 40-mile commute will feel like California gridlock. In Connecticut, 40 miles can mean scenic drives through cute towns with zero traffic instead of bumper to bumper stress. Depending on where you live and what route you take, understanding those commute patterns, knowing which roads you have to avoid and which back roads you want to use, this is all part of the smart home buying process. That's the kind of local knowledge that my team brings to the table every single day. Item number 10, unique local charm and hidden gems. Connecticut is filled with historic homes, stone walls, older than the country itself. They have antique shops, covered bridges, town greens that make you feel like you stepped into a Hallmark movie, except this is real life. People actually live here. One hidden insight most people don't expect, we have castles here. Real stone castles. Gillette Castle along the Connecticut River. It's a massive stone mansion built by an eccentric actor. Hearthstone Castle in Danbury, a few private castle-style estates scattered around the state. People do not move to Connecticut expecting a medieval vibe, but here you are. You can literally visit a castle on a Sunday afternoon. Another unexpected charm point, the sheer density of colleges and universities. There are over 40 colleges and universities in the small state. Yale, UConn, Wesleyan, Trinity, Conn College, Quinnipiac, the University of New Haven. The list goes on and on. This all keeps towns youthful, cultured, economically strong, and it gives you access to lectures, sporting events, art galleries, and performances you might not have gotten anywhere else. You will see some of the best basketball. After all, Connecticut is the basketball capital of the country. Whether you love shoreline towns, rural horse properties, classic suburban neighborhoods, or walkable downtown areas with coffee, shops, and bookstores, Connecticut gives you options that feel distinctive without requiring you to drive 5 hours to go find them. It's a state that rewards people who explore a little deeper. The more you dig, the more you're going to find here in Connecticut. So there you have it, the top 10 reasons people love living in Connecticut. If this information was helpful, be sure to check out our next video linked here for all things living in Connecticut.